Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome into the space and good morning. Give you all just a few moments to see that I am here live and in living color. Let me adjust this light right here so it's not directly in my face. I am going to go ahead and connect to my TikTok platform while y'all are coming on in. So come on through. When you get here, let me know that you're here. If you're watching on the replay, hello, make sure you hashtag replay. And you can fast forward through all of this, right? You don't have to sit and wait for me to greet everybody and do all of that kind of stuff. You already know. You can come on in and just fast forward if that's what you want to do. All right. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am opening up my my TikTok platform right now. So, y'all come on in. If you're watching, let me know that you're here. Give me a hey girl, hey, how you doing? Hello, Tashika. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, Latoya, Dr. Mac. It is always good to see you as well, sis. Thank you for joining me. I would absolutely love if you all would invite some folks into the space today. Either share out the live or tag some people in who you believe could use what we're talking about, who could benefit from the conversations that we have in this space. Hold on a second. I am trying to sit this up, but I'm going to just sit it in front of me like that today. All right. Thank you. I see you. Excuse me, Latoya. Thank you for inviting your followers to come on into the space. Those of you who are watching on TikTok, hello, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today as well. You all already know that my eyes will be up and around and all over the place as I am talking to everyone. Okay, so I just want to make sure that everyone can see me, everyone can hear me. Feel free to drop your hellos, your good mornings. Y'all know how we do in this space. My grandma used to say, if I didn't sleep with you last night, and when you come into this space, you say good morning. I didn't sleep with none of y'all last night. So good morning to every single one of you. Thank you for joining me today. If you are brand spanking new into the space, I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for coming into this space. My name is Angel Charmaine, and I am your authenticity coach. And today we're going to be talking about something that I think gets overlooked sometimes, and it's the power of small steps. Oftentimes, it's the little things that we do that get overlooked, right? We are always focusing on the big things. We're focusing on the big vision that God has given us. We are focused on, writing the books, and we're focused on the destination. We're focused on where we're headed. And oftentimes, we overlook the small steps that are required to get us to the big things, right? Why? Because we live in a crazy, crazy world, right? We live in a world that glorifies big wins. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success. You know what I'm saying? We live in a world that glorifies these instant transformations and makeovers. And so today, I would like for us to focus in on the power of consistency and transformation. The transformation that we're all looking for, the big changes we're all looking for, it all takes place based on really small steps that you are taking every single day. every single day. I am reading this book. Well, I'm listening to it on audiobook, and it's entitled "How to Eat a Frog" or "Eat the Biggest Frog." It's either "How to Eat the Frog" or I think it's "How to Eat the Frog." And pretty much how you eat the frog, you eat the biggest frog first, but you got to eat them, right? You got to eat the frogs in order to get things done. You gotta do the things. You have to be consistent about doing the things. How do you eat an elephant? They say one bite at a time. And so oftentimes we look at the elephant, we look at the trees in the forest, we look at all the big things, we get overwhelmed by those things. And we forget that all things are possible, right? All things are possible through Christ if we would just take the baby steps. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about having some real lasting change. It does not happen in this one grand moment. It absolutely does not. It happens in the small, consistent steps that we choose to take every single day. So, welcome into the space. As you all are coming on in, I want to make sure that I greet you all while I am greeting you all because once I start teaching, then I kind of get in a flow. Taishika, thank you so much for asking your followers to connect with us. Thank you, Susan Harrison. Good morning. I see you, sis. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Peggy Ann, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us as well. I see you, Deborah. Good morning to you as well. I thank you for joining. Those of you who are watching on TikTok today, hello. I'm not going to call out your names. If you don't speak, if you don't say anything, then I'm not going to just call out random people. I know sometimes you just kind of accidentally tap into a live that you don't mean to be in, and that's totally okay. But if you would like to be a part of the conversation we're having today, then by all means say something, and I will definitely acknowledge you. Okay, so just want to make sure that I say that. So we are streaming live today on YT, on FB, on LinkedIn, and we are also in TikTok land as well. I encourage you all on TikTok to share out the live, invite your friends into the conversation. Love on the screen. I would absolutely appreciate if you would do all the things here in that space. All right. So thank you so much. My money and my moolah. Thank you for the heart meet today. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this because you all know I don't like to be here all day. I don't want to keep you all day. We're here for 60 minutes. And in this 60 minutes time, today, I want to talk about the power, right, of consistency and transformation. And I want to talk about those small steps making a large impact. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for jumping in to support and to tap and to share. I thank you for that. All right. So let's get into it. Y'all already know I got 3 points for you, and we're going to dive right on into this. My first point is that small steps are the foundation of big breakthroughs. Y'all are going to have to take notes for me today. I don't have the tabs up for you. So you're going to have to take notes today. Okay. If you have been feeling like maybe you're not doing enough, maybe things are not happening fast enough, maybe you feel like you're working hard, but you're not seeing the results. I want to remind you all today that the small steps absolutely matter. We talk about celebrating all of our wins, celebrate the big wins, the little wins, the in between wins. It is so important that you not allow the big picture to overshadow the baby steps that you're taking every day. Our lives are the sum total of every single decision that we make in a day. Every little decision that you make in a day, when you add them all up, you're going to get a full life. So the little decisions matter. the little steps that you take to get something done matters. You taking the time to read a few pages of a self-improvement book, it matters. Every single day you decide to wake up and grab that book and read a few pages out of it, you are growing. You may not feel like it when you start, but you are growing. If you think about it, if you read 10 or 12 books in a year, that's on a light, that's a book per month, right? That means that at the end of the year, you are that much smarter. You have that much more information, that much more knowledge. You have expanded your thinking and the way you see life so drastically different. Why? Because you decided to pick up a book and read a few pages a day. Those little steps, they absolutely matter. Y'all already know I got scripture for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is not a Bible study, but I do use scriptures, the scriptural principles to solidify the things that I talk about. So let's go ahead and get in to where we're going today. I want us to go to Zechariah. Let's go to Zechariah. We're going to go to Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. And the scripture says, "For who has despised the day of small things? For these, for who has despised the day of small things? For these seven rejoice to see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel." We often say, don't despise our small beginnings, but the scripture actually asks a question. It poses a question, a rhetorical question, I believe, but it poses a question. Who, right? For who has despised the day of small beginnings? Ask yourself, do I despise small beginnings? Hello, Clear Care. Hello, and Thankful Thursday. Yes, it is a Thankful Thursday. Do you despise your small beginnings? I want y'all to think about this. If you think about, because we're always saying that you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears, right? But what we don't sit down to think about very often is that a fruit tree is going to start with just a seed. And a seed is very small, right? You're going to plant some seeds. You're going to plant some seeds in some soil, and the soil is going to be dirty. And every kind of seed requires a special kind of soil, depending on depending on the fruit that's going to grow. I always say, don't despise the seed, but don't despise the soil either. Do not despise the soil that your seed has been planted in. And that's the story for another day. But today I want to focus on the little things. That little bitty seed is going to produce a big harvest. But when you plant the seed and it begins to take root and you see the stem breaking the ground, there is no farmer is looking at his or her crop. And when they see little sprouts coming out the ground, none of them look at it and go, "Oh man, this all we getting today. I'm going to just chop this up and start over." Nobody's doing that. No farmer is doing that. But what the farmer does is when the farmer sees the stem begin to break the soil and they begin to see that a little growth is coming, they go, "It's working." Right? They go, "It's working. I see that all of my labor, all the tilling the ground, all the planting of the seeds, all the watering, all the nurturing, all the things all the fertilizer, all the things that all the work I put in to plant this little bitty seed." When you see that little stem break the ground, you don't rip it up because it's just a little stem. You don't go, "Oh man, I ain't got a big tree today." Absolutely not. You realize that little bitty stem that has broken through the soil lets you know that it has taken root and that it's working. Everything great starts small. A great oak tree is going to start with a little acorn. Everything that is great is going to start small. And we have got to begin to value our small beginnings. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. And I don't think a lot of people really sit with this. There's beauty in being small. Everybody is ready for their businesses to grow. Everybody's looking for, they want the 7 and 8 figure businesses, and they want all the millions of customers. They want to stand on the big stages with the thousands of people in the audience. And right, we want all the big things. But what people don't realize is that with more comes more responsibility, comes more struggles, bigger hardships. There is beauty in being little. When you're in your little small place, it's okay to fail. Failing in your small place, failing in your small place doesn't cause as big of a ripple as once you get into these larger places. Take the time to embrace the privacy that you have in your small space. Take the time to embrace the small challenges that you're able to work through in your small space. Take the time to embrace that the Lord is refining you and purging you and growing you while you're small. Why? Because once you're big, you've got some major things that are going to start to happen. You've got more people depending on you. You've got more pressure to continue growing. You have an even larger pressure to not become small again. There's a peace in your smallness. Think about when you're a little kid and we're all like, I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. Now, as adults, we're all sitting in this place like, oh my goodness, I wish I would have just relished my youthfulness when I was, because those days are gone. There's beauty in the beginning. Take time to relish the beginning stages of whatever, even the beginning stages of your relationship, the beginning stages of your new job or career, the beginning stages of being a parent. There's beauty in the smallness. I got to 7 restaurants, over 10,000 square feet, 3 businesses, from a closet size break room cafe, small to big. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure my money that there are times when you have a major issue having 7 restaurants right now. I know there are times you sit and go, my goodness, I thought I had big issues. I thought I had some big issues when I was in my little, small place. But now the issues are showing up big. And not only that, they don't just impact you, but they impact employees. They impact more customers, right? Trust me, the more money you make, the more Uncle Sam wants to take. So please understand, every great thing starts small. Everything. A long journey is going to start with one step. Before you can finish the marathon, you got to actually step out there and begin the race. The problem is that we often dismiss the little things because they don't seem like they're all that significant right now. Yes, God is really great. And I am grateful that God does not change. He is constant. Whether we are in our small beginnings, whether we are, matriculating through something on our way to a destination, or whether we have reached the pinnacle of success, God is not a respecter of persons. He is constant. He is the same. He is going to provide for you. He is going to love you. He is going to do all the things in your small place, just like he is when you get in a larger space. And I'm really grateful about that. When you know that God is not a respecter of persons, he doesn't see the big mighty person as being any better than the person that nobody knows, who's just starting the journey. God does not have a respect in those persons. And so we can get to that place where we don't compare ourselves to people that we see other folks doing what they're doing. When we don't compare our journeys to the journeys that we see in other people, then we can simply be content without being complacent. There's a difference between being complacent and being content. You can be content in your small space as you work towards whatever your goals are. Hello, Angela PJ. Thank you so much. Yes, Deborah says a lot comes with expansion. Absolutely. A lot comes with expansion. And the truth is, a lot of people are not ready for expansion. I know a lot of times we create websites. I'm thinking about entrepreneurs here. We create websites and we want to sell products, right? And then we want to connect with big influencers and we want to attract the masses to our website. But listen, I think it's a worse situation to have, to put yourself out there, the masses come, and then your website crashes and you don't even have the capacity, right, to take in the influx, the expansion of people. You don't even have enough products to be able to service all the people who show up. So you were so focused on getting all the people there, but you didn't have the infrastructure to be able to sustain the influx, the masses. So now that the people are there, you're having to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't. Oh, we're on back order, and I don't know when it's going to come." So before, if you would have just taken your time and small step that thing, make sure that you can service properly the customers that you currently have. Make sure that you are generating the revenue you need to generate in order to establish the systems that you need to establish, and buy into the systems that you need to buy into to be able to sustain the expansion that's coming. No, you want the expansion today. And so now you're going to end up with a bigger issue, a more devastating issue. You're going to hurt your brand. You're not going to have brand trust. You're going to have issues with brand loyalty. You're going to generate a whole lot of issues that you didn't have to worry about if you would have just taken your time in your small beginning to make sure that you would be prepared for the growth. There's something special about just starting a thing. You learn about yourself when you just start a thing. Even when you're talking relationships, like, oh, we just want to get married. Nowadays, everybody want a husband, right? You just want a husband. You want your husband today. You want your wife today, right? Nobody wants to court anymore. Nobody wants to go through courtship. Nobody wants to go through, having a full on engagement. People don't want that anymore. But it's during the dating, it's during the courtship, it's during the engagement, the betrothal, it's during those times where you are learning that person. You're getting to know yourself inside of this type of a situation. You're getting to see what they're really like. You're getting to see how you handle being in a serious relationship. I mean, those early beginnings are meaningful and purposeful, and they're there for a reason. So do not despise your small beginning. The Lord rejoices to see the work begin. The Lord rejoices in you starting the thing. All of your small steps, all of your little consistent habits, they are all leading up to something great. So don't look at them and compare them to somebody else's steps, somebody else's journey. Know that the Lord rejoices that you gave a yes and that you are actually doing the work. All right. So here, hey, how you doing, Denise? It's good to see you, sis. So here's your first activity for the day. Are y'all actually doing these activities? I'm around here coming up with these practical activities to help you all grow. Are you actually doing them? Drop a 1 in the comment if you are actually doing the work, or am I just giving y'all stuff to do? Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for popping in today. I really appreciate you. I don't see no ones, so I don't know. I think y'all just got me passing out gems and doing all this work, preparing for y'all, and you ain't doing no work. That's another issue. People want, we want things that we're not willing to work for. We want things that we are not willing to work for. Dave Ramsey, with his Total Money Makeover, one of his sayings is, in order to have what no one else has, you have to be willing to do what no one else does. In order to have the life that no one else has, you have to be willing to do the things that other people are just not willing to do. And taking time to be consistent with the little things. So my guy sent me this video, y'all. Okay, I see the yeses. Okay, I see you, Deborah. I see you, Latoya. I see y'all with the ones and the yeses. So my guy sent me this video, and it's a video of a man who's doing 6 exercises. They're really simple exercises. Thank you so much, Denise, for sharing the live. And there's 6 really easy exercises. When you look at them, it doesn't even look like you're doing anything. It's like some knee lifts, some arm raises, some heel taps. It's just something real, some real simple things, right? But what I have learned is that because things seem so little, so simple, so minute, it's easy for you to not do them. But what we don't realize is in doing those little things every single day for 20. So the video says for 21 days, do these 6 things and see the changes that are going to happen in your life. So I think I'm on, what is today? So I'm on day 4. And I have been consistent. I get up in the morning, I do these 6 exercises. At night, I do these 6 exercises. I'm on day 4, right? I'm doing this for 21 days. I don't believe that I'm just going to see changes in my physical body. I think I will. I think I may see that I've lost like a piece of an inch or something, right? I'm sure I'm going to see something change in my body in 21 days. But at the same time, what you don't realize is that some dynamics in my life are going to change. Anytime you incorporate some type of small, healthy habit, whatever it is, you are shifting something in your life. I don't know if you all have ever heard of the butterfly effect, but the butterfly effect is like when one little thing happens, it makes a ripple in the atmosphere, right? In the unseen world, that it kind of causes something else to happen. So doing little things, even if you may be doing something little for your health, the fact that you're being consistent, you're actually building your character. You're building your person, you, not just the physical thing, not just the one reason that you decided to do this little thing, but you are changing, growing, you're developing because you have chosen to be consistent. You're going to transform your life with the small, consistent things. Something as little as getting up and doing 6 little exercises. If you decide to get up, I remember listening to this motivational speaker once talk about just getting up and choosing to make up your bed. Just choosing to get up and make up your bed every day. your life. You will change the trajectory of your life by doing something as simple as choosing to wake up every day and make up your bed. It shifts something in your psyche. It shifts something in the way you think and the way you move. The big things, they happen. And as soon as the big thing happens and it's over, guess what? You got to go back to doing little things to build the next thing. So do not despise your small beginnings. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify one small daily habit that will bring you closer to your goal, whatever your goal is, and then commit to doing it for 30 days. If you got a weight loss goal, you may say, I'm not going to eat fast food for 30 days. That's it. I'm not going to eat fast food for 30 days. That's something small. Just don't stop anywhere to eat that's sell food. No fast food for 30 days. Just commit to it. I'm not saying don't eat bread, don't eat sugar, don't eat pie. I'm not saying don't do any of the other things. Just identify one small step that you can take to get you to a goal that you'll set for yourself. If you say that in 30 days, I want to have saved, $500. I want to have at least $500 in my account, or it could be $100. At the end of the month, I want to at least just have $100 in my savings account. And don't trip, because some of you might be like, $100, that ain't nothing. Let me tell you, the vast majority of Americans don't have $1,000 saved up. So let's just start right there. So if you tripping, talking about what's $100, listen, I'm telling you, the vast majority of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved in their savings account. So if you say, I want to start saving money, right? Then just make a goal. Just set a goal. Every bit of change that I get this month, I'm not gonna every dollar. Every time I have a dollar, I'm going to put that dollar away. Or every bit of change that I get, I'm going to put it in a jar. Find something that you can do and take a little bitty step towards it. Every time I have to buy something, whatever the change is, I'm going to save it. Whatever change I get, right? If you go to the store and it's $2.50, you get people $3.50. You determine, I'm going to take that 50 cents and put it in a jar. By the end of the month, I want to be able to have saved $100. You might say, I don't know, you might decide that, you're going to, however you see that happening, whatever you choose to do. You may not even set an amount. You might not say, okay, I'm going to have $100 saved. You just say, every bit of change that I get when I shop, I'm just going to put that in a jar. So if you get $2.26 back from your change, don't spend the $2.26. Put it inside of your jar. At the end of the month, you will have saved some money. It may be a small amount of money, but it is more than you would have saved if you would not have made that small step. So again, the first thing I want you to work on, I want you to identify one small daily habit that will bring you closer to your goal, and commit to doing that for 30 days. And I always say, if you feel like sending me a message and checking back in with me and letting me know how that goes for you, I am here. Feel free to do that. The next thing I want to share with you all is that consistency is more powerful than intensity. You choosing to do a thing and make it a habit until it just becomes a part of what you do is more powerful than how forceful you are with doing things. Some folks be like, oh, I'm going in, right? You going hard in a thing. I'm going to work really, really, really hard on this thing. You get it done, and then you don't get anything else done for 3 months. No, it is important for you to build your stamina. It's important for you to have endurance. It's important for you to be consistent. Intensity is good for what it's good for. But when you are looking at a lifelong transformation, you are looking at how consistent you can be, how steady you can be with this thing, how constant you can be with it versus how hard you can go at it. Are y'all tracking? Am I by myself today? Are y'all with me? Or am I by myself? Y'all, come on, talk to me. You know, I don't like to talk to myself. A lot of folks start strong. Good morning, Tammy. How you doing? A lot of times we start strong in a thing and then we get winded. You start out overzealous. Oh, I'm going to do great things. God's giving me this vision. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. Oh my gosh, I got all these great things. I got all these books inside of me. And you start out so strong. You start out so intense. You start out so overzealous, right? And then you get burnt out. And now you need self-care. You need to relax. So listen, what do they say? The race is not given to the swift, but the one who endures to the end. The race is not given to the swift. You got to stay in it. You got to stay in it when you are tired. You got to stay in it when you hungry. You got to stay in it when you sad. You got to stick with it. Even if you just get a little bit of it done today, you may not do as much in that thing as you do on normal days, but don't not do anything. Every day you should be doing something that is moving you closer to the goal. Some days I know you're tired. I know you're tired. That's not the day for you to do nothing. You may not do as much on that day as you typically do, but when something becomes a part of your life, when you ingrain it in the fabric of who you are, you don't even think about, am I going to do it? It just is who you are. It's just what you do. Getting up and having these conversations with you all, it's about consistency. I have to generate. It has to become a habit. It has to be just something that at 11 o'clock, I just know, boop, I'm here. What you doing? Ain't you got any availability? Yeah, I'm free except from 11 to 12. I got a 11 a.m. talk that I do with my people. That's what I do at 11 o'clock. Oh man, you can't miss it today. No, I can't miss it today. No, I can't. This 11 o'clock. This is what I do. Monday through Friday. You want me to do something at 11 o'clock? You need to ask me to do it on Saturday and Sunday, because Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., I'm going to be on this camera. I'm going to be talking to my people. Deborah says, I've been consistent with my content every day on YT because I have a goal. Very good. And I see that you're growing. I think you're like over 500 subbies now, right? Deb? I think you're like over 500 subbies. And so congratulations to you. We see the people who got the 300,000 followers, 900,000 followers, millions. And it's like, you look at that. If you look at their numbers, you're going to feel like my 500, I'm never going to get there. The truth is, before they ever got a million, they had 500. Close to 500. Okay. Keep being consistent. Before these people with the large followings, before they got these thousands and thousands, they had hundreds. but they were consistent. They pushed out the content here on TikTok. Everybody's like, I want to get to 5K, I want to get to 10K. Everybody's trying to push to get to this, these astronomical numbers. Everybody wants their vanity metrics to look good. But are you willing to take the time and post every day? Are you willing to take the time to read the guidelines? Are you willing to take the time to learn, to watch people who've done it, to take notes, to study, to see what works, to see what doesn't work, to try new things? Are you willing to do the little things? Because it's those little things that's going to lead you to the greater things. Everybody want to be big. Don't nobody want to be small. But in order to get big, you got to start out small. Denise, you said that's my problem. Which part? Which part is your problem, sis? I know even on TikTok, there are so many people who went into those G rooms and then they end up with these, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 followers, but they have absolutely no engagement. They have absolutely no engagement. Why? Because they were so focused on getting this big number. They didn't do the little things. They weren't consistently doing the little things to hone really good relationships with real people who genuinely want to connect with your content. So you have folks with these great big followings and they can't even get 3 likes. Why? Focus on the big end goal and not focusing on the little steps. I'm almost done, y'all. I got about 15 minutes remaining, and then we're gonna be done for the day. For those of you who are brand spanking new, if you are watching on FB, LinkedIn, or YT, or if you're watching on TikTok, hello. My name is Angel Charmaine in TikTok land. You all know me as Natty Knowledge. And every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I come into this space to simply share some nuggets of knowledge, help you all get a greater understanding of concepts that are going to help you be wise in this world. That's it. That is all I do. I'm an authenticity coach, and my goal is to help women to live what they say God has called them to be, to do what it is God has called them to do as their authentic selves. It is very possible for you to show up in your life as you. You don't have to become somebody else. You don't have to do things the way other people do things. You can embrace who God has created you to be in order to do the work that He has called you to do. And so my role in the women's lives that I get to work with is to be the authenticity, accountability that they need. I help them to see the parts of themselves that they can't see. I help them to see the blinders that they have on. I get to say, sis, that ain't you. You don't look like you today. I don't know why you're talking like that, but that's not you. I don't know why you're behaving like that, but that's not you. Let's talk about it. Let's get down to what's really going on. Let's deal with the hard issues of heart issues so that you can show up as who God has called you to be. That's the kind of work that I do. Hey, Poppy, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. Denise, you said being consistent is your problem. I think, you know what? You're not alone in that, sis. I think the vast majority of us have an issue with being consistent. And we get upset about the 1% or the 10%. We get mad at people who have built these empires. It's like they got everything, we got nothing. But the question is, are we willing to do what they have done to get where they are? Are you willing to make the small sacrifices and the large sacrifices that they are making? Are you willing to show up when nobody else is there? There are so many people on TikTok who want to go live, but they won't go live. You know why? Because they look at the little number in the corner. Right now, there's a 4 in that corner. That's not a large live. There's not a lot of likes on it. There's not a lot of movement happening. But guess what? That's not going to deter me from turning on the camera and sharing what it is that God has called me to share. Yesterday, when I turned on this camera on TikTok, there was a young lady who came in. She sent me a message afterwards and was like, I'm so glad that I found you today. I'm so glad that I was listening to you today. I heard what I needed to hear today. If even Christ can say, I will leave the 99 right here and go after the one, why are we not okay with impacting the one? Why are you not okay with impacting the one? Why do you have to impact 100? Why do you have to impact 1,000? Why do you feel like your work is not valuable, is not valid, if you are not impacting the multitudes? If you impact one before you leave this earth, you have done a great job. There are some people in this world who are not making a positive impact on anybody. If you lead one person to Christ, you have done a great job. So I want you to continue to show up. Continue to show up. Show up for the one. I have shared this story with you all before. I'll share it as many times as the Lord leads me to share it. The very first date when we went on our very first Speak Up Sis tour, and the very first date of the tour was in my hometown. And we had 40 seats available, 36 people RSVP. We had our continental breakfast. We had everything. Everything was just so nice, and we were so ready. I had invited people to come from out of town to speak and all the things. Everything was free. I couldn't pay anybody, but the people who were coming to speak could make money from vending, all the things. It was all worked out. It was beautiful. I was happy. There are 36 people coming. I was like, that's great. And then when we got there and everything was ready to go, not one of those 36 people showed up. Not one. I need y'all to hear me. 6, almost 7 years ago, I set out to have an event that 36 out of 40 people RSVP. They went to the link, they clicked, they signed up, they coming. And not one of them showed. How do you think I felt? I had speakers there, people that I couldn't pay, people who couldn't make money because nobody showed. People had paid for their own travel, their own lodging, their own things because they believed in the vision. How do you think I felt? I went into the restroom and I cried. I cried and I was like, God, why me? Why are you doing this to me? What is this about? How could this happen? And in that day, Denise says, my God, I'm so sorry, says, but here's the thing. Exactly, Peggy Ann. I was absolutely crushed. I felt crushed anyway. But there's no reason to feel to even feel any sympathy for me, because you know what I heard the Lord say in that bathroom with them tears in my eyes? Will you do what I tell you to do? Will you go where I send you, even if no one shows up? Will you do the work even if no one shows up? I learned a very valuable lesson. I learned a very, very valuable lesson that day. And the lesson that I learned is that whomever is in the room is who's supposed to be in the room. Whomever shows up is who's supposed to be there. And that day, those 36 people didn't show up. But there was a security guard that at the place, a female security guard. She came in. The speakers were there. I was there. Each one of the speakers had a friend who came, and I think there was a lady who was like just in the library who came. There were people in the room, and we still had the event. It was a successful event for the people who were in the room. And the 36 people who signed up but didn't show, for whatever reason, they didn't need to be in the room. Whatever was said in that room wasn't for them. It's okay to relish in your small beginnings. It's okay to be okay with the small numbers to start. That's not necessarily where you're going to end up. But here's the thing. What if the Lord designed your purpose to be impactful for small groups? What if you're never going to be in front of the millions? What if it is not your lot in life to impact the thousands at a time? What if you're going to impact thousands of people, one person at a time? Maybe the Lord is going to have you impact thousands of people in your lifetime, but maybe you're going to meet them 2 or 3 people at a time. Maybe they won't be 1,000 in a room at one time. Does that invalidate your work? Does that make what you do any less? Absolutely not. Yesterday, I asked you all to sit and take stock, right? To focus on, what am I supposed to be learning? It may have been the day before yesterday. What am I supposed to learn about this situation? While I'm in this small place, what am I supposed to be learning while I'm here? What tools do I need to obtain while I'm here? Hey, Tamika, thank you for joining us, sis. She says, that thought just came to me. I have to keep reminding myself that everyone that is present is supposed to be. Absolutely. If they're there, they're supposed to be there. And if they're not there, they weren't supposed to be there. The problem is, we want certain people to be in the room. We want certain people to show up. And if those people aren't in the room, and if those people don't show up, we feel some kind of way about the work that we're doing. And as long as we continue to keep that mindset, you're going to stay in your small place. If it is designed for you to reach the masses, you're not going to reach them until you deal with that, until you stop being a respecter of persons, until you begin to impact who God has called you to impact in the moments you're supposed to be impacting them. Let's look at number 3. I'm wrapping up. I got 7 minutes, y'all. I got 7 minutes. Thank you, Denise, for tapping in with me here on TikTok. Thank you for tapping the screen and commenting and all the things. I really appreciate you. All right. And the last point that I want to make today, small steps inspire others. The small steps that you are taking, you are inspiring other people to make change. You are so welcome, sis. You are thinking, oh, these are such small steps. Nobody notices. Nobody's paying attention. Let me tell you something. People are inspired at the fact that you are actually getting up and doing because they're not doing. oftentimes when I am working with women, I like to remind them that we are reflections of each other. Oftentimes when people see you doing your small things, you see it small in your own mind. They see it as something major in their minds. And oftentimes people will look at you and they will see what they're not doing in their own lives. A lot of times when folks, want to talk crazy to us, a lot of times when people, you feel like somebody's being jealous or envious or something of that nature, the truth is that oftentimes people see who they are not. They see what they are not doing. They see the potential that they could have, but that they are floundering because they are watching you do the things that they have not done, are not willing to do, are afraid to do. So here you are sitting around thinking that everything's so small, it's so tiny, it's not that good. And you got folks who are inspired by what you're doing. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 16 really quickly, y'all. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 16. Matthew 5 and 16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Your seemingly small steps are like a little candle in the darkness for some people. Yep. When the power is out in some people's lives, you show up with this candle that just illuminates the darkness. They're not saying, oh, where you get this little bitty candle from? No, they're going, thank you for bringing some light into this dark place. Sometimes we think that the impact has to be huge, and it doesn't. It just needs to be meaningful. The impact needs to be valuable for the person who's being impacted. We think we got to give people big dollars. No, sometimes they just need to know that you support them. That's the concept behind just sharing the love, right? You think in order to support, you got to be giving people money. Sometimes they just need, all the time, they just need you to say something positive about their business to other people. They simply need you to go write a review about their book. They simply need you to show up at the free event that they put on. Sometimes folks just need to hear, I see you and I think you're amazing and you're doing a great job. Keep doing it. So many women will send me messages and say, I know that I'm not in the space a lot. I know you don't see me a lot, but I just want you to know that I am listening and I am paying attention. Sometimes people just need to know that they are seen and they are heard, that they're not alone. They're not asking you for anything big. They're simply asking you to be human and give a little bit of yourself. A kind word, a kind gesture, a warm smile. That's why we have the Warmest Smile Award for the Speak Up Sis Awards, because a bright, warm countenance is like medicine to the soul. And sometimes just taking a moment to give somebody a big smile and a hug is more valuable than any money you can give them. Your impact doesn't have to be ginormous. It simply needs to be meaningful for the person you're impacting. I promise you, there's somebody watching how you keep showing up. Somebody's watching. Trust me. Somebody's watching how you keep showing up. Somebody's watching how you keep posting that content. Somebody keeps even though you're showing up and it look a mess. You might be showing up and going, this look a mess. I saw Deborah yesterday and her video was acting up, but she came back on and she was like, I wasn't gonna, I was trying not to let you see that my thing fell off the wall and my mic was acting up, and she just was just having some issues. But the point is that she showed up. And I promise you, there's somebody watching her and they're watching how she keeps showing up. It's the small things that you're doing in faith that matters, y'all. The fact that you have faith to do the little things, not knowing how it's going to turn out, not knowing if you'll ever get to the big thing. The faith that you have to do the little things, not knowing that you'll ever even get to this massive place, is meaningful. It's what makes a difference. Even if you don't realize it, even if you don't, if you just can't figure it out, I promise you, it is what's making the difference in your life. It is what's going to open doors for you in ways that you don't even realize the doors are going to be open for you. Tamika says, right. Who we feel needs to be there, but not knowing that possibly they are not in the right mindset or space. Absolutely. Some folks we want to be in our spaces, and you don't realize that they about to bring and wreak havoc on your space because they mind ain't right. They coming with negativity. They coming with foolishness. They got demonic forces wrapped all around them and influence them, and you trying to get them into your space. And the Lord is trying to protect you. Like, I know you want her there. I know you want him there, but what I have for you to do, this person is going to be a hindrance. Sometimes it's not even the person. Sometimes it can be you. Sometimes it's you that want somebody in a place so badly that it changes who you are. Some of you can't be your authentic selves in front of everybody. So the Lord keeping people out of your space allows you to show up fully because you're not on eggshells. You're not pretending. You're not being pretentious because that person's not in the room. Sometimes we want the big names, right? We want the dignitaries. We want all these people in our spaces. But when they show up, we change. Maybe the Lord keeps people out of your space until you learn how to simply be you in front of anybody who shows up. Oftentimes we think that it's the other person. Oh, the Lord is protecting me from the other person. No, sometimes the Lord is protecting other people from you. Or sometimes he's trying to teach you something. Ain't got nothing to do with the other person. And I appreciate that, Tamika. I appreciate that. It's comments like this that are encouraging for me. You all see me doing the work. I get up and do the work, and it's like, oh yeah, Angel's just gonna be there. She's just always there. But when you all take the time to say that I inspire you, that watching my journey makes you want to go harder, makes you want to walk closer to the Lord, right? It makes you want, she says, every time my battery gets low, I end up logging on and you're live and it gives me a boost. That in itself, just taking the time to write that is more than money for me, because it reminds me that I'm in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people. Every little thing that we do, seemingly little thing that we do, You don't know how that is impacting the people you are doing life with. So continue to do the little things. They are what's meaningful. The small steps you take today are shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Don't discount them. Don't grow weary. Don't stop. Denise says, this was for me. Girl, I think this was for all of us. I think this is for all of us. I want y'all to keep moving. I want you to keep growing. Keep planting those seeds, y'all. Let's look at Proverbs 16:9 really quickly before we get out of here. If you are just logging in, you just missed a treat, another good one. I thank the Lord. This is not a Bible study. This is just a little late morning talk that I do to encourage you, to inspire you, to motivate you. Many of you see me as your unofficial mentor. So these are moments that you get to sit with your mentor and glean. If you don't know who I am, my name is Angel Charmaine, also known as Natty Knowledge on TikTok. I am an authenticity coach. I am also the owner of Speak Up Sis LLC. And we create spaces and provide opportunities for everyday people to build resilience and share their stories. As an authenticity coach, I help women to unlock their true selves so that they can live what they say they believe as who God created them to be. So let's take a look at Proverbs. I'm gonna take a look at this is gonna be our last scripture for the day. I'm gonna take a look at Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Hey, Danny. It's good to see you. Thank you for popping in today. I appreciate you. Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Many are the plans in our minds. We got all these big, lofty dreams, all these goals, right? We got all these goals, but it is God who establishes our steps, every single one of them. I always ask, Lord, please be a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Illuminate the way so that every step that I take, it is a step that is going to lead me closer to you. It's going to lead me closer to who you call me to be. It's going to lead me into a place where I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I want to take baby steps with the Lord. I really do. You know why? Because I don't want to misstep. We're so busy trying to do big things until we make big mistakes. I'm okay with baby stepping my way through this. I'm okay with taking little bit of steps at a time. I'm okay with the platforms not being so massive. I'm okay because I know that if I'm taking small steps, then it's easier for me to keep my eyes focused on the kingdom of God. I know that if I'm taking small steps, then I'm not winded. I'm not wore out and tired. If I'm taking small steps, I'm able to actually pay attention to what's going on around me. When I'm taking small steps, I'm actually able to focus and hear what it is that he's saying. Angel, no, stop right here. No, Angel, sit down and be still right here. Angel, I want you to like take a slight right to the over here. I'm able to pay attention, focus, give him a yes, and actually follow his leading when I'm taking baby steps. And before you know it, you're going to be in a place where you're like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How did I even get here? And you'll be able to enjoy where you get because you've enjoyed the journey. Do not despise your small beginnings. There is power and consistency when you are transforming your life. Be consistent doing the small things every day. You'll enjoy seeing yourself change. Listen, you all see, freedom is 7 years old. My locks are now, they reach my posterior. Freedom is now my longest lock, now reaches my posterior when I'm standing. And she is about, for those of you who don't know, Freedom is the name of my locks. I named her. And when I started Freedom, I had a taper cut, which means my sides were shaved, my back was shaved, and I had a short, curly hair on the top. And I remember when Freedom first started, they were so tiny. They were these little, pickaninny little plat things. And then I remember thinking, these are not cute. Then she grew up a little longer and they would kind of stick out. And then they got to this length when they were about right here. And I just thought I was too cute, y'all. I was like, ooh. And then it got to the point where I just stopped paying attention to the growth. I just stopped paying attention to it. And they would just and then one day I woke up and they're down my back. But each stage, I took pictures. Each stage, I loved each stage. And now there are women that I will meet. Dan, you got the small ones now. I meet women now and they're like, oh my gosh, your locks are so beautiful. I can't wait. They'll say, I can't wait until I get to that length. And I always say, enjoy where you're at, because you know what? I miss when they were this long. I miss when they were shorter and they had this little funky look. I miss that stage. So I always say, embrace the stage you're in. If you continue the journey, there's no doubt your hair is going to be just as long. Your locks are going to be just as long. So don't miss out on all of the styles that you can wear while they're short. Don't miss out on all of the funky little stylish looks that you can do while there's. Don't miss out on those things trying to hurry up and get to this place of being long. Because let me tell you, it's a whole other journey when they're this long. They're heavier. It takes more to clean them. It takes more to keep them, to upkeep them. They get heavy. So now you're worrying about whether or not they're going to pull your edges out. I mean, you have a whole other set of problems when they get this long. So enjoy your small space. I've been locked now for almost 7.5 years. July 10th, 2017 was the day that I locked my hair. All right. Tamika, you just read Proverbs 16:9 last night. See, we're in sync. The Lord knows. He knows what you need. He knows where you need to be. Today, I challenge you all to just focus on one step at a time. Excuse me. For those of you who don't know, I am overcoming the flu right now. So I still have a little bit of a cough, a little bit of congestion, but I'm okay. Remember, small steps taken faithfully make big impact. Don't worry about trying to be forceful. Don't worry about the intensity of what you're doing. Focus on the consistency of what you're doing. Remember, Jesus left the 99 for the one. If you're impacting one person, you're doing a good job. If you sold one book today, you did a good job. If you made $20 today, if you made $5 today, if you sold one earring today, if you sold one jar of sea moss today, you did a good job. If you didn't sell anything, but you showed up to work, good job. You're doing a good job. You know, if you didn't cuss your kids out today, you're doing a good job. I'm the mother of 4 young adult men. I have 4 sons. I raised 4 sons, me and their daddy. And he's no longer in the land of the living. So listen, if you didn't, if you didn't have to spank a child, fuss at a child, carry on, if you had to do nothing today, good job, mama. If you didn't have time to cook them breakfast before they left the house, but you sent them out with some cereal, Pop-Tart or something, good job. They ate today. Okay. All right. We are done. They had something. I know that's right. Listen, they can't go to school and say they starving. You fed them. You gave them something. So I want to thank you all once again for coming into this space with me, Angel Charmaine, also known as Natty Knowledge. I am an authenticity coach, and I am the creator of Authenticity Unlocked Coaching Experience. You can learn more about it at AuthenticityUnlockedCoaching.com. We have our next cohort coming up on March 10th. If you would like to be a part of that, all you have to do is go to AuthenticityUnlockedCoaching.com. Go ahead and sign up, register, and come kick it with us March 10th. It's a 6-week cohort, and we dig into self-reflection and introspection, and we get into unlocking who you truly are. We don't work towards getting to a destination. It is just the beginning of you standing in the place God wants you to stand. So with that, I love y'all with the love of Christ. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. I thank you, and I will see you all tomorrow. Friday is the last day that I will do the 11 a.m. talk, and until Monday. I'm here Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and log out of here. For those of you on TikTok, if you are interested in connecting with me in some other spaces, I do have a YT channel. So if you go to Speak Up Sis on YT, you'll be able to find me there. You can also watch this live on YT. So if for whatever reason you're unable to do TT, you can check me out on YT live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over there as well. If you want to learn more about the Speak Up Sis community and the platform, you can go to speakupsis.com, and that'll give you more information about my work and just kind of get in where you fit in. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.